Okay, let me finish up off the tail end of the last video. The summation that we need to stay here on these three lenses is pretty simple. It depends on what you need and what your budget is. If you're going to strictly be shooting a portraiture, it's like, well, is that all you're going to do? You know, you can't actually use the 80-200 that close. You know, you can't get in at, only a few feet like you can with the Tamron, and especially the new the new 70-200 2.8E. If you understand the limitations of what this lens is, I mean, it's built like a tank, it's very heavy, which of course is both a benefit and a detriment to this lens, I mean, especially hanging off your camera. And the fact that you can get it used all day long for $600 basically, or you can even get the old push-pull version for $350, depends on what budget you're operating off of. If you know the limitations of this lens does have a better micro contrast, it does have better bandwidth, it will make better prime looking images straight at a camera than these other two lenses will. The worst bandwidth, the worst color saturation ever, not bad. It's a big deal to drag the sliders in Lightroom or whatever photo application it is you're using. Is the Tamron 70-200 2.8, the VC version. This lens is no longer made in Japan, it's currently being made in China. No big deal, I've heard no issues out of that. This lens used is basically $1,010.50. It's excuse me, $1,200 new. It's still worth every penny of what it costs. This lens does fall short in resolution. So if you're going to use it on even a crop sensor camera for wildlife photography, you want to crop it, the resolution is plenty fine, but it's not really good enough. Not good enough for what? I mean, the absolute pinnacle. I mean, it wasn't even as good as the 70-200 2.8 Nikkor VR2. That's a compromise, though. I mean, it costs half as much. The autofocus is better, built better than the VR2. This is, of course, a more modern lens. Do I still recommend this lens? I do. This is a perfect compromise between these two. Is there anything lacking on this? Yeah, the bokeh on this lens, if you're going to use it for wedding or portraiture, it's not bad, but it's also not hot. It's not wonderful. But we're talking about $1,199, I think, $1,200 new, and basically $1,000 used. Everything in life is a compromise. All of these are sexy chicks, but the new 70-200 2.8 is, and I hate to say this because I'm always, recommending cheap old lenses that aren't made anymore. It's like, what's an awesome lens that's like a lot better than the Nikon, like a Voigtlander, for example. Like, it costs 1/4 as much, but it's 5 times as good. I'm always looking for the cheaper alternative in a lens, but sometimes it must necessitatively, and you have to agree with me, even if you hate me, agree that sometimes the absolute best option is also the really expensive option. And here we have it right here. Lightweight, the vibration reduction is incredible, the bokeh is incredible, the resolution is absolutely it is just the tits. It is amazing. I mean, if you want to crop in using this on a D7100, D500, which has a high pixel pitch, which makes it perfect for wildlife photography, because wildlife photographers, necessitatively so, most of the time have to crop the shit out of their shots. And you want A, as much translational information per square millimeter of sensor, and B, the highest resolution possible of the image it is that you're capturing. With the Nikon D500, or even the D70-200, and this lens, oh damn, you've got that. You have got that. If someone told me, other than 400 millimeter, 500 millimeter range, like what is the lens camera combo that you would recommend that's going to give me the best resolution? And I shoot birds at distance and have to crop the hell out of my shots. I would say Nikon D500 or D70-200 and this lens. This one. The other one would be like the Nikon Nikkor 300mm f4, the Fresnel lens. Anything longer than that, we're talking about large primes or like the Nikkor 200 to 500mm. This lens has basically got it all. Like I said, I can really count on 3 fingers how many lenses that are, the Swiss Army knife of lenses. I never recommended the VR2, the VR1 or the VR2 Nikkor. I never did. I got a lot of flack for it. I recommend this lens extremely highly. I know it is insanely, my wallet's still squealing. It is insanely expensive, but it is worth it. If I wanted to go on a trip to Europe, which I can't afford, I guess I could have gone on a trip to Europe considering how much this lens costs. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I could have, but then it would have been gone after a couple weeks. I'll still have this lens a few years from now, or hopefully a lot longer. I mean, I have it insured in case I drop it or it gets stolen, thank God. You always got to get stuff like this insured. This is the jack of trades of zoom lenses. I can actually think of no other zoom lens. What the hell is down there? It's a power cord off my computer. I can actually think of no other telephoto lens that I would actually call the Swiss Army knife of zoom lenses, where you just have crazy ass resolution, wonderful bokeh that's perfect for portraiture, even on DX, FX or DX. There's nothing wrong with this in the crop mode on a D500, D7200. We're looking at 105 millimeter to 300 millimeter. What the hell is wrong with that? The best portrait lens on earth is 105 millimeters, 105 millimeter f2 DC Nikkor. This lens is the jack of all trades. I can actually, it's like I said, repeating myself. You repeat yourself too much. Yeah, I know. I can think of no other lens that comes to this, that reaches this level of all utilitarian usefulness. I wished it didn't cost that much money, but it does, but it is what it is, and it's worth it. I don't regret getting this lens. There's absolutely no way I'd regret buying this lens. So that's it. You need to know where each one of these lenses lay, and I've already told you. Perfect compromise. It has its shortcomings. Does this lens have any shortcomings other than its price? Obviously so. Not really. Is the bandwidth of the saturation as good as the 16 element 80 to 200 2.8 here? No, it's not. I could drag saturation sliders over a little bit to the right. The resolution, however, is just absolutely crazy. I love to crop my shots. I don't purposely, I zoom with my feet. I don't crop as little as possible, but I don't have any aversion to cropping shots if necessitated for composition. I'll crop the hell out of something if it's going to eliminate out something I don't want. And if I have the pixel density and I have the resolution to begin with, then that means it lets me do what I can't do on like a lens like the Tamron 70-200, which doesn't have sufficient high resolution for cropping the piss out of, say, I can't zoom with my feet on the osprey and the trees up there, It is what it is. I'm standing on the shoreline. I can't get any closer. I'm already at 200 millimeters. But the lens doesn't have enough resolution for me to crop into it because it just, I can move all the sharpness and clarity sliders all I want, make it look a little bit better, but it's like, no, it doesn't cut it. This lens will cut it. And that is worth, that alone, combined with the amazing VR and the amazing bokeh, make this lens worth it on so many levels. And I say that with all earnestness, with no hyperbole, because, I can't make a video giving an extremely high recommendation to a really damn expensive lens like this without being very forethought and purposeful in the intent of what I say. Even though I make a little joke here or there, the objective forethought and intent in making those statements are well thought out ahead of time. I can assure you of that. If you have any questions about that, but go try it. Borrow it at your camera store, or rent it. Renting it won't be cheap either, but that's where each one of these three lenses lay. No good up close. Pretty useless up close. To hell with autofocus speed on this lens, This is a mid-range, intensely useful zoom lens. Now, you notice I have to use two fingers to actually zoom this lens. I have to use two fingers to zoom this lens, too. I had to use two fingers to zoom the VR1 and VR2. This one is so smooth I could just use a pinky finger. So this is the king of micro contrast and of straight out of camera saturation. This is a perfect compromise to Tamron, and the king of bokeh, the king of resolution, the king of VR. Yeah, God. Yeah, it's the really expensive lens here. So that's where each one of these lay. $600 used, $1,100 used. You ain't gonna find any of these used for quite a long time because this lens just came out. So screw it. $2,800, $1,200, $1,200, or used 600, 1,000, 2,800. So 600. What is 600 going to 2,800? Yeah, I could have 4 of these and I still haven't reached the price of one of these, right? $2,400. That means I need four of these. It'd be $2,400 used. I still is $400 short of one of these. It's still worth it. Because if you know, just like in sports, you know, races are won or lost on thousandths of a second. And when it comes to getting the damn job done, I can get in so close with this, and it's so sharp, it's so fast, the resolution's so high, which I can crop the shit out of the shots. That makes this lens an epic winner. Undeniably so. Thanks for watching. Sorry I had to split this up between two videos, but this was kind of a video that everybody kept screeching for me to do, so I had to be very thorough in doing it. Yeah, but you repeated yourself a few times. Indeed, I did. If you like this video, you can drop me a hot pizza or some shortbread cookies or a kick in the face. Tell me to jump off a cliff. Whatever makes you happy. Thanks for watching. Bye.